Assalamualaikum, my name is Aisyah and I will be the first presenter for today. And this slide is going to be presented by me, Intan, Hana and Wani. So the topic is going to be about elasticity. Analyzing elasticity of demand, a case study of Emma's Boutique. Let us consider a scenario where a fashion retailer, Emma's Boutique, is analyzing the impact of price changes on the demand for their clothing items. Emma has noticed a decline in sales in recent months and wants to understand how sensitive her customers are to price changes and changes in their income. Emma decides to survey her regular customers to collect data on the quantity of clothing items they purchase, the price of the items, and their monthly income. Moving on to question 1. If Emma's initial price was $50 and she sold 150 items, then she would make $7,500. Emma increased her price to $60, which caused the demand to decrease to 100 items a month. Then she would instead make $6,000. Were she to reduce her initial price to $40, then she would increase her quantity demand to 180 items a month. By increasing the cost, her customers are unable to afford as many times. By decreasing the cost, more customers were able to afford more of her items. There you can see the table where it was listed for price, quantity, and revenue. So moving on to question Roman 1. Based on your calculation, determine whether the demand for this item is price elastic or inelastic. So for the first calculation, you use ED equals to Q1 minus Q0 over Q0 times P0 over P1 minus P0. Then you fill in, you will get 100 minus 150 over 150 times 50 over 60 minus 50. Then you will get the answer, which is minus 1.67. You take out the negative and it will become 1.67, which is over 1, and the answer is elastic. For the second calculation, you use the same formula and fill in the gaps where it is 180 minus 100 over 100 times 60 over 40 minus 1 minus 60. And when you calculate it, you will get 2.4, which is also elastic. Now that is done, we go to the Roman 2. Now that is done, we will move on to Roman 2. Now that is done, we will move on to question 2, Roman. Explain the implications of the price elasticity value for Emma's Boutique in terms of pricing strategies and revenue generation. From the schedule, the higher price increases, the more quantity demand decrease. Emma's Boutique opted to increase the price in hopes of maximizing the income, but when the quantity demand decreases, they decrease the price afterwards. When the price decreases, the quantity demand increases again. In terms of revenue generation, the initial price, which is at $50 with 150 items, managed to gain $7,500. But when the price increases and the quantity demand decreases, the revenue dropped to $66,000. Consumers are unable to purchase from Emma's Boutique when the price is high. This explains that Emma's Boutique sells elastic item because it is a luxury good. Now that is all from me. Thank you.
The question is question number 2, which is income elasticity analysis for Emma's Boutique's clothing items. First question is calculate the income elasticity of demand for Emma's Boutique clothing items by comparing the quantity demanded at the low income level with the moderate income level. Interpret whether the goods are normal or inferior based on the calculated income elasticity. So for the formula for calculate income elasticity of demand is percentage change in quantity demand of goods X over percentage change in consumer income Y. So we got the formula here, and these are our calculate. 150 minus 100 over 100 times 5,000 over 7,500 minus 5,000. equal by 0.5 times 500 over 2000, 5000 over 2500. By that, we can get equal by 1. So, the question asks, interpret whether the goods are normal or inferior. Based on the calculate we got number 1, which is a normal good. For the second question, based on the income inelastic results, classify Emma's boutique clothing items into different types of good, which is normal, inferior, and luxury. Provide reasoning for your classification considering the relationship between changes in income and the quantity demand. So as you can know, we choose normal goods based on our result. So what is normal good? Normal good have a positive income elasticity of demanded, where a change in demand and change in income move in the same direction. So if you can see in the graph, the income elasticity of demand is move in the same direction of change in demand and change in income. So what is income elasticity demand? Income elasticity demand measure the magnitude with which the quantity demand is changed in reaction to a changes in income. A normal good has an income elasticity demanded that is positive but less than 1. So basically we have 4 category of elasticity, which is the income elasticity analysis. We have a normal good, and it will be a positive number, which is we get based on our result on the question 1 is 1.
So for question 3, the following table lists the cross price elasticities of demand for several goods, where the percent quantity change is measured for the first good of the pair and the percent price change is measured for the second good. For goods, air conditioning units and kilowatts of electricity, it has cross price of elasticity of demand, which is negative 0.34, Coke and Pepsi 0.63, high fuel consuming sport utility vehicles, which is SUV, is negative 0.28, McDonald's burgers and Burger King burgers 0.82, and butter and margarine is 1.54. So for question 3, the first one is explain the sign of each of the cross price elasticities. What does it imply about the relationship between the two goods in question? So the answer is there are 2 degrees of responsiveness in cross elasticity of demand. If both goods are substitutes for each other, the cross price elasticity will be positive. If the goods are complementary, then the cross elasticity will be negative. However, if both goods are not interrelated, the cross elasticity will be 0. So for air conditioning units and kilowatts of electricity, the negative cross price elasticity increases, the quantity demanded for air conditioning units decreases. This implies that these 2 goods are complementary, which they are often used together. When electricity becomes more expensive, people are less likely to demand air conditioning units. This is also indicates to high fuel consuming sport utility vehicles, which is SUVs, and gasoline that shows a sign of negative, which the goods are complementary. As the price of gasoline increases, the quantity demanded for SUVs decreases. Higher gasoline prices might lead consumers to reduce their demand for SUVs due to high cost of operating these vehicles. Meanwhile, for Coke and Pepsi, it shows a sign of positive, which suggests that both goods are substitutes. If the price of Coke increases, the quantity demanded for Pepsi also increases. So for the next question is compare the absolute values of the cross price elasticities and explain their magnitudes. For example, what is the cross price elasticity of McDonald's burgers and Burger King burgers are less than the cross price elasticity of butter and margarine? So the answer is the cross price elasticity of McDonald's burgers and Burger King burgers are less than the cross price elasticity of butter and margarine, because for butter and margarine it has a higher value than the cross price elasticity of McDonald's burgers and Burger King burgers, which are 1.54 for butter and margarine, which is 0.82 for McDonald's burgers and Burger King burgers. This suggests that the relationship between butter and margarine is stronger as substitutes compared to the relationship between McDonald's burgers and Burger King burgers. Generally, the magnitude of cross price elasticity can be interpreted as complements. Higher absolute value suggests that the goods are more substitutable or complementary. In this situation, butter and margarine that has a cross price elasticity of 1.54 are considered more substitutable than McDonald's burgers and Burger King burgers that has a cross price elasticity of 0.82.
Next, question number 4. For the first question of number 4 is, consider a scenario in the market for a specific brand of laptops. The price of the laptops increases from $800 to $900, leading a manufacturer to increase its quantity supply from 1,500 units to 1,800 units. So the formula for the price elasticity of supply is elasticity of supplies equal the second quantity of supply minus first quantity of supply over first quantity supply, and then times the first price of supply, and then over second price of supply, and then minus first price of supply. Okay, for the answer of this question is for the 1,000 for the second quantity supply we get 1,800, and then time and minus the first quantity supply is 1,500, and then over the first quantity supply is 1,500, and then we get a 0.2, and then times 800 over 900 minus 800, and then the total we get 8. So 0.2 times 8, and we get the total is 1.6, and the answer is elastic. For the second question of this question is, in the context of the laptop market scenario, discuss how technological advancement contribute to the elasticity or inelasticity of supply in the electronics industry. The answer is, technological advancement contribute to the elasticity or inelasticity of supply in the electronic industry by enhancing production efficiency and flexibility. New technologies enable manufacturers to respond more swiftly to price changes. This agility facilitates rapid adjustment in production levels, making supply more elastic. For instance, improvement in automation and just-in-time manufacturing processes allow for quicker scaling of production in response to demand fluctuation. Consequently, suppliers can better match supply with market needs, reducing lag time and minimizing excess inventory, thereby exhibiting a higher price elasticity of supply value. Okay, that's all from us. Thank you for your attention. Thank you so much.